Real Video gives you the freedom to speak. What have you been waiting to say?
For a long time, I thought that all the censorship and all the propaganda from the media and all the attacking of people who are telling the truth and the promotion of evil throughout society and turning the most evil people into media heroes and so on. For a long time, I thought all of that, including the attacks on Donald Trump and so on, thought that was just politics. But I'm here today to share with you what I call the big, big picture, even the cosmic big picture. To borrow from Dr. Stephen Greer, the cosmic false flag, although he meant that in a different context. He was talking about UFOs. I'm talking about the extermination agenda. There's an agenda to exterminate humanity. And I don't mean that as a metaphor or hyperbole. I've reached this conclusion, and I'll share with you the thought process of getting to that conclusion, that there is an agenda to exterminate humanity. And that agenda is well underway. And globalism, as we see it classically in terms of politics today, globalism is the push to control the world at a central source so that humans can be literally exterminated. And the globalist agenda is really an anti-humanity extermination agenda. So if you thought the Adolf Hitler Holocaust was bad, 6 million Jews murdered in cold blood, let's talk about 7+ billion humans, a Holocaust that is more than 1,000 times larger in magnitude. That's the agenda that's underway today. And in this video, I'll share with you the thought process of how I arrive at that conclusion. And then you can decide whether you agree with it or disagree or what have you. So first of all, let's describe a world that would exist if the idea were to keep humans alive, okay? To have a sustainable society or civilization. What would that look like? Because I guarantee you that's not the world we have today. If the goal were to keep humanity alive and productive and well, and people living with good longevity and good productivity and good cognitive function so they can have innovation and discovery and breakthroughs for the future of humanity, if that were the goal, you would notice some interesting things. Number one, the food supply would be focused on nutrition rather than poison. So the food supply would nourish people to nourish brains and nourish bodies and nourish offspring so the next generation can be healthy. But what kind of food supply do we have today? It's a toxic food supply. It's intentionally laced with pesticides and herbicides and toxic poisons. And the purpose of those chemicals, by the way, is to what? I'm just seeing if you're awake. What's the purpose of a pesticide? What's the purpose of an herbicide or a fungicide? They all share the same common purpose: to kill living things. That is the definition of an insecticide. If it doesn't kill living things, it's not an insecticide. It doesn't work. Same thing with herbicides. If it doesn't kill living plants, it's not an herbicide. Okay, so killing living things is the predominant focus of the food supply so that crop yields can be larger, profits can be larger, but the nutritional value is, no one thinks about the nutritional value of the food. They just want to sell profitable food, even though it's laced with poison. And the poisons cause Alzheimer's, dementia, depression, cancer, diabetes. So obviously the food supply is not here to keep humans healthy. Obviously, you can't argue that that's the purpose of the food supply. The medicine system, I've got a couple notes here on the side. The medicine system, what's the purpose of the medicine system? Is it to cure disease and give you some medicine that solves the problem so that you never need medicine again to resolve the issue? No, of course not. The entire pharmaceutical industry functions today based on the idea of keeping you sick so that you remain a repeat business customer. That's the whole point, is to keep you sick. And the sicker you remain, the more money they make. And if they can get you sick from one pharmaceutical and then give you, diabetes, and then you get on a diabetes drug and it gives you liver cancer, and you get on cancer drugs, and it gives you Alzheimer's or metabolic disorders and so on. It's a chain reaction of profit mongering, disease mongering, profiteering, whatever you want to call it, to keep you sick and keep extracting money from you instead of making you well. So the entire pharmaceutical industry, which is, I think, the most profitable and largest economic industry in the world, other than the weapons and energy industries. I think pharma is third. I don't know, maybe it's certain tech companies, but pharma is very, very big. It's up there. It's one of the largest in the world. Over $1 trillion a year in revenues, depending on how you count it. Medicine, including medical devices. But modern medicine, pharma, medical devices, chemotherapy, and so on, is designed on purpose to keep you sick. If they cure you, they lose you as a patient. If they solve your problem, they lose money.